Minister for Defence, National Security and Policing, Rural and Maritime Development and Disaster Management, the Honourable Ineas Sirui Ratu. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, and I wish to thank the Honourable Member for this question. Before I answer the question, let me just state a few things. One, rural-urban drift is a global phenomenon, and of course, because of development, people are attracted by the street lights and of course other benefits as well. I will not go into the detail. For Fiji particularly, in 1966, the rural population was around 67%, whereas in the 2017 census, it has gone down by 23% to 44%. So that proves the point that it's not happening in Fiji alone, but this is a global phenomenon. But secondly, we need to respect the choices made by the people. People are free to make their own choices. We live in a benefit-oriented society, and if people so decide to live, then so be it, because that is the democracy that we are in. Not the during the colonial days where we have strict laws about Ito case, trying to leave the villages, they have to report to the council and then they come back but people, you need a permit to come out, and that's why you have the Ovisania Sanas, as they call it, to ensure that you go back to your village or to your community when that period expires. Thirdly, Mr. Speaker, sir, let me say that development is something that we do together in partnership. Of course, government has a responsibility, but at the same time, let me ask this question: what is the Vanua doing about this? And what are we as a community doing about this? Because government cannot come up with all the best policies, but of course there has to be ownership as well. And of course, this is where we need to work together, particularly if we are to address this problem. But it would be interesting, Mr. Speaker, sir, given the recent COVID-19, I don't have the facts, I don't have the data, but there's a lot of people going back now to the rural areas for obvious reasons, which is good, and probably something that we need to capitalize on, and of course ensure that these people, or some of them, not all, can remain when the situation does improve, Mr. Speaker, sir. I did some analysis when I joined the government in 2007, particularly in the Northern Division. There are so many reasons behind the urban drift, Mr. Speaker, sir. One, I've said, freedom of choice, democracy. Two, lack of development, particularly in rural areas, people live. Economic reasons, the Honourable Leader of the Opposition, when we debated about the youth report, economic opportunities, although resources are there, but people still prefer to go and do the odd jobs in the service sector, and that is why a lot of people live. Education was a big contributing factor to the rural-urban drift as well during that time. And unfortunately, in some part of Fiji, politics played a role, particularly when some Fijians were denied land. As a result, about 6,000 people left Maduata alone, Mr. Speaker, sir, to go to the urban areas because land was politicized so heavily and they were denied lease extensions. And other obvious reasons, Mr. Speaker, sir. But in terms of policies, very quickly, let's just look at government's development plan. It still clearly articulates government's intentions, particularly ensuring that no one is left behind. And we have the 5-year and 20-year national plan. And of course, let me just touch on this, economic opportunities. For us to realize the economic opportunities, we need to create the environment. And that environment, particularly in rural areas, I talked about this in my budget, although the ministry has an allocation of about 11 point something million, but when we add all the allocations in the different ministries, it comes to about 100 million plus, Mr. Speaker, sir, over a certain period of time, covering all the sectors and all the geographic regions in Fiji, and of course in the rural areas. But it's important that we create the environment, and for that we need accessibility by air, by sea, by road, And of course, we need the relevant infrastructure. For the Maritime Division particularly, shipping is very, very critical. I remember in 2007, there were only 2 boats in government, the Tandau Soko and the Batulao. Now we have about 12 boats at the GSS, apart from the franchises, because it's so critical for the rural areas. So let's create the environment through the infrastructure. And of course, we've talked about education. Didia is one of the best performing secondary schools now, because government created the environment. They have satellite dishes and whatever to help them with their, and there's a lot of improvement in the program. The private sector's role, the primary sector, agriculture, fisheries and forestry. I will not go into the details, particularly in these rural areas, but there's a lot that government is doing when it comes to the infrastructure. And of course, it's not only about providing them with boats and giving them other forms of assistance through a self-help program in the Ministry of Rural Development, but of course agriculture, fisheries and forestry. I know for Ono particularly, apart from Lakiam, I think Ono is second in terms of pine, and I hope that after this harvesting there will be some serious replanting as well, because of the potentials there in rural areas. But I think in fisheries, very lately in Doi, the Minister for Fisheries has just installed one, and there was another one in one of the islands in Lau, and I think the one for Weningandru is being considered now. They are leveling the area. So these are all the programs that are in place, Mr. Speaker, sir. Communications. Technology is very, very critical now in rural areas. And of course, leaving no one behind, the Honorable Minister for Social Welfare, Women, Children and I had a meeting with Vodafone just before the budget session, Mr. Speaker, sir. And I'm happy to say that we are yet to meet with Telecom. I think my ministry is organizing that together with other service providers, but we've met Vodafone already. Vodafone is in the process of putting up another 50 plus communication towers next year, and the good news particularly for rural Fiji and the coastal communities, this is particularly their focus next year is on the islands and the coastal communities. So because we need this communication in the rural communities as well. There's so much that I can cover, but perhaps if there are any supplementary questions, but it's all in the government development plan, the National Development Plan for the next 20 years, and of course it clearly outlines what will be happening in the various sectors, but leaving no one behind. The maritime sector particularly, we have big plans about them, and of course that includes Rotuma and Rambi and all the other communities as well. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.